A lot of cities supposed to be innovative, creative, the place to be for science, to attract talents. And we can promote that advantages one by one and present them whenever they are requested. But I believe that that won't make the difference, because which city stands for technology and innovation? Is it London? Is it New York? Is it Berlin? Is it Tel Aviv? Which one stands for creativity? And which one stands for culture? Is it Vienna? Is it Amsterdam? Again, Berlin? Is it Tel Aviv? So you see, we have too much advantages in common. So they became like a point of parity. And so this is not to challenge that advantages one by one, but this is more to see how that things are going to go together, what the story is about it. So you have to create a film in our heads instead of single pictures. And which stories they are, it all starts with the citizens. They live and work in a city, and they are telling the story of a city. I will give you a short impression how way of life in Berlin is, and why or which are the ingredients to become a breeding ground, to become that story for success and a breeding ground for innovation, for being a startup hub, and also for global brands to set trends for innovation. So diversity is maybe first ingredient. Diversity which drives innovation. Diversity means a city where more than 180 nations live and work, and where no one will ask you where you're from, but everyone's want to know what your idea is and what your visions are. And they live in tolerance, because every kind of life concept is welcome, and you can live however you like, or as Frederick the Grand said, jeder nach seiner Façon. Also in a city of freedom, because thinking free is allowed. And maybe because in Berlin we are used to tear down walls, and we are used to eliminate boundaries, and that feels great. And when people feel great, they do great things. And they do that in unconventional places like this. This is a really typical Berlin situation. It's a bar, yes, it's a bar. Maybe it's, you know that, it's the Oberholz. It's a bar, but it's also a meeting point. It's a networking place. It's a place full of inspiration where young people meet and where ideas were born. And that ideas produce creativity. And the creativity became a resource for the Berlin industry. And so the startups and the young talent profit from the established economy, of their infrastructure, of their investment potential, and the established economy also profits from the young talent and from the startups, because they can get innovation and technology into their companies. And so they grow. They grow, and they grow in very special places. This is the former inner city airport. It's the largest architectural monument in Europe. And since the Tempelhof project exists, so since 2011, it attracts more than 100 young entrepreneurs in creative industries, in IT, but also in arts and in education. And this is one of 11 places in Berlin which will be technology highly developed in future. And so creativity became our capital. And we are talking about $2 billion of invest a year. And for the first time, we overtook London. What's really a story of success. Yes. And our startup stories aren't short ones. They will fill encyclopedia, because it's in our DNA. And Berlin, I guess, is the right city for everyone who is interested in shaping economic history of a city in motion. And where all the things come together like that, and this is just a short impression of how it is about, you will find a city which has the highest economic growth in town. And that's the mixture of a very special city, the mixture of Berlin and the flavor of Berlin. And why this is also a breeding ground for global brands to act on it, and why cities in special are a breeding ground for global brands, Wolfgang Breyer will tell you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christine. I guess now I do have the difficult task to draw your attention to me, apart from wonderful Christine. I hope I'm going to manage this. Second challenge I'm going to have is to talk about BMW innovations in 8 minutes and 40 seconds, so I have to speed up. And I would like to start with the question, all we heard about cities and creativity and the community there, what actually does it mean to a car manufacturer? And the very simple truth is, cities to us are, first of all, a marketplace. I saw a figure this morning, 2050, there's going to be 70% of the population living in urban areas. I saw studies that even say this is going to take place in 2030. And so basically, this is where our customers are, this is where they make their money, and this is where we sell our products. And this is the one side of the story, which is pure facts. But then there's the challenging side of the story, and this is talking about our products, which is obviously mobility. A city is quite a difficult surrounding. And this is not only for a car manufacturer, this is actually for every party involved in providing mobility, be it the authorities, governments, public transport, and car manufacturers, of course, as well. Why is that? Very many people on very limited space, and suddenly you end up in a situation we all know, like lack of parking space, traffic jams, congestion charges, emission regulations, and stuff like this. So it makes it really difficult. It puts a big burden on mobility in urban areas. And then there's another point, and this is very linked with the creative community, the creative crowd. We heard so much the whole day over. And this is people with changing customer demands. So there is creative people, they expect new things from their consumption, and there is some trends that are coming up that I would like to focus on. One is sustainability, which obviously is more than a trend. I think it's a duty for all human beings. This is something we have to deliver, and we as BMW believe that there is no premium without sustainability. This is an essential part of premium products and brands. Second is that people go from ownership to usage. So people want to have the latest state-of-the-art product for the time when they use it, but not necessarily want to own it and invest hell a lot of money into products such as cars. And last but not least, that leads to a situation where we have to go beyond the car, thinking outside the box in its original meaning, and going from hardware to software. Because if you want to be successful in future as a car manufacturer, you have to have answers for changing customer demands and market conditions. And the key to this for us is innovation. And we go two routes in this direction. One is what we call the evolutionary approach, so continuously improving the existing product range. And if you think of the cars we are offering these days, the new flagship of BMW, the 7 Series, if you take a 730D, meanwhile you drive a luxury sedan with more than 260 horsepower, with less than 5 liters consumption. So even if this is called an evolutionary approach, there's hell a lot of money and efforts going into innovations to bring products at a stage that you couldn't even imagine a few decades ago. And the other side of the story is what we do with BMW i, you can even say our innovation laboratory. This is why do we call this a revolution? Actually, because this is something we approached as a holistic thing. So it starts with production with sustainable energy, with materials made by sustainable resources, like if you take the leather of the car, this is tanned by olive oil and not by chemicals and stuff like this. And first and foremost, this car is built, and this makes it unique, this car is built and meant from the very first sketch as a pure electric car. So that's why you have this extremely light and stiff carbon fiber body, and you have the drive module with all the electronics, engines, and batteries. So this is from the beginning on meant to be electric, and not just a compromise by putting some additional engine to it to also have an electric offer on the market. But, as I said, this is what we call the hardware. But if you want to be a successful mobility provider, you have to go beyond. You have to solve the questions people have. And just to pick an example, very common situation, you want to go somewhere, you want to spend an evening, maybe in Berlin, and the question is how to get from A to B. Very simple. I mean, first of all, you need to decide where is B anyway, but this is something I would like to talk maybe at another time, but this time how to get there. And of course, all the cars meanwhile have very efficient navigation systems, so there are solutions over and over. But if you go there, or if you want to go there in a really efficient way, then you have to go beyond. Then maybe you have to think like, well, it could be a great idea if I go by car first, park at a park and ride, then take a few stops with public transport, and at the end have a quick walk by feet, which could be a nice experience anyway, especially when you are in a beautiful city. But this, of course, means that you may not only think about cars and car manufacturers, but you may think about this holistically. So this, again, is a challenge not only for the manufacturer, but also the cities, the authorities, the governments. They need to come up with solutions like having a park and ride parking space available, or if we talk of electric mobility, then this is something where obviously you need to invest in charging infrastructure as well. And just a few impressions, this is how it would look like in a BMW i3. Of course, seamlessly integrated in your mobile device, so when you leave the car for your few stops in a public transport, you have it on your mobile phone. And if you are a technic geek, going for the latest gadgets, of course it's going to work with your smartwatch as well, which, by the way, is a very funny toy I got myself the other week ago. So it's really a nice toy to play around with. But this, again, does not cover the third trend I was talking about, from ownership to usage. There is people who want to go buy a premium car, who want to go buy a very nice machine, but not necessarily want to own it. Or the way I'm going to use it, if I know I go out for dinner and maybe I want to have a glass of wine and I don't want to drive back with the car, then I go for something which is known, or which we offer as Drive Now, our car sharing concept. And this is really something I personally do love, I have to say. You take your smartphone, you find the car on an app where it's located, you do a reservation by click, you go there, then you get this very tiny little chip on this very old driving license. You register yourself, you log in, and off you go. When you are there where you want to go, when you reach B, so to say, you leave the car, you log out, you don't have to care about parking fees, you don't have to care about fuels. It's just that you go there, you use a premium product, and if you're done, you're finished. Very simple. And this chart, by the way, is an old one. I left this by intention because I proudly can announce that last week we added the 9th city, which is Copenhagen. And there we went for a full electric approach. So we entered this city with 400 full electric BMW i3. And this, of course, was only possible by a common approach. So shared efforts. So there is a charging infrastructure, and the authorities, power companies, and BMW, and we do this together with Sixt, did work together, and so we were able to offer full electric BMW Drive Now offer in Copenhagen. One more little last thing that is very important to me, as I'm from marketing. All that's been said sounds very rational and lots of challenges and things you have to take care of. BMW was never satisfied by getting people safe and dry and in comfort from A to B. The aim was always to deliver driving pleasure. And looking at this car, which is the BMW i8, I think no one will really question whether this car delivers driving pleasure. But same is true, and make no mistake when you're going for a BMW i3. Those of you who never had the chance to experience an electric drive, I can only recommend to do so, because I'm really spoiled with sporty cars, but this is an experience, this is really great, and I would like to share with you some impressions about people doing their first test drive with a BMW i3 and how this feels. Start the film, please. No? Here we go.
Ah, so exciting. Na, fresca.
Safety first.
Anglais da. Linie song.
Aye, Cap. Oh, look at that mirror.
Oh my
The mirror.
goodness.
Do you see that?
Zit die gut?
Auf Start drücken.
Ah, look at this.
Oh.
Oh, look. Está bien cerrada. Sí, ¿no?
Ist ja voll easy. Elle est silencieuse.
It's oh so quiet. There's not ingenting.
Just like...
It's criminal. That's Pete. How quiet we're going.
Ah, dit wird lecker.
Wenn ich vom Gas gehe, bremst der sofort.
Sí, señor, este coche es mío.
Madrid, Madrid, Madrid.
We are in the middle of London and we are causing zero pollution.
Eindritt mit Hyperraum.
Aus op die lolly.
Komm, komm. Warpgeschwindigkeit. Wow. Ein hat der Power.
Ik ben onwaarschijnlijk, ja?
Gran Bier.
I want one.
Alle klar. Nehmen wir.
War cool.
Look at that. All those people out there living their lives when we're in here living in the future.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and take a test drive yourself. I can only invite you for that. Thank you very much.